And so I've taught tanto tori many ways, but what's the most important thing about tanto tori?
Protecting yourself.
Don't get cut. You're going to get cut.
Control the knife.
Don't get cut terribly. Right? Don't get cut badly. So, so the first thing I teach is safely get to a safe place. But this is hard because when a Munetsuki comes, we're used to doing this, and it's a beautiful thing, but there's all this space, and a person with a knife is not just thinking linearly. They can slash any way they want, and they're looking for your movement. So we're going to train a little differently. We're going to train first by staying on the line of force and not getting cut badly, and controlling the knife. Because controlling the knife is good. Then we'll see if we can integrate that into getting off the line of force. Okay? Feet like this far apart. I get to stab any way I want, but not high. Because if you back it, we might get eye kind of problems. Okay? And so he is not going to let me stab. Okay? No moving. Right? So it's not working. What do we need to do? I have one knife in one hand. He was using one hand. Not a good idea. It's an unfair fight, right? So here he is, and he's got it. I want to use two hands. And as he tries to withdraw it, I have some control. You can slash, you can do whatever. I want to be on top. I do not want to be this end of this. So if I'm going to extend, I would need to be over here. And notice, I'm bringing it down. And I might not always capture the blade. So let's go over here so other people. I always want to have, hopefully I have both hands on top. But at least one. Because this is not a good idea. All right, you got it? So this is harder than you think. Ugh. Don't hurt each other. So now he really wants to hit it. Oh, you don't have to go so slow. So do your regular step off the line kotegachi, right? Do that again. I got him. You're going to get got a ton unless you learn to do this. By the way, if it's a sharp knife, turn it around. But you're at a distance where you can touch, right? Now, you got it? Get your hands ready. Hey. So don't go pop. So here's what you're doing. You want to go shodo seisu, right? There you go. Good. And now also cushion it. Even though you're going that way, you have to cushion it. Well, examine this. This is just an interesting thing to try. People are reacting, and then they're just touching, but he can come back and
switch hands.
So if he fakes, I'm still going to be in that space. This is going like this fake. Now that you don't want to have this recoil feeling. If I fail, I'm going to be here. Because this is no man's land, and I want to control that. Also, I'm not going to stay here. We do get off the line of force. Now, good. All right. Good. All right. So that's something to work on. Now, position yourself here. Because this is where you'll be. Either I'll have it here or here, depending on which way. So now, defend yourself. So from here, I can only do this or do this. From here, I can come here or try to come here. And he needs to be able to defend himself. But then it's a lot easier over here because you've already gotten off the line of force. But, good. So we started out here. No, I mean, pull it back and do it again. You're trying to find trying to penetrate my defense. And I'm using 2 on 1. Right? Now, I'm here. Whoops. Try not to put high. Later we'll work on high. But, and from here we would do this kind of thing. So here it's going to be Ikkyo, over here will probably be Kotegaeshi. Or I could be on this side. Or you could have your hand here. Alright, and again, Ikkyo here. Or Kotegaeshi. There's all sorts of techniques. The most important thing is safely getting to a safe place. Right? There I have both hands under, that's a bad idea. You know, you want. So starting here, excuse me, and then moving here. Okay? And then we'll be ready to do normal Aikido techniques, except when he does Munetsuki, we'll use our hands like this. Because you really need to respect the knife. So here we're in normal distance, right? Yeah. So what are the three most obvious things that I would do with this? I could thrust, I could slash this way, right? So, you know, boom, boom, boom. And we ought to be able to, you can't just say, no, you're not allowed to do that because it's the thrust. So what we're going to go towards is to defend against all three of those at the same time. But let's just start with the thrust. Boom. Boom. Right there would have been, I might be here, in which case, you know, you could end it this way, but let's just switch our hands. We're used to doing our stuff out here. What's he going to do if he can get his other hand close?
Grab the knife, switch hands.
Right? So I don't want that to happen. So realize that, you know, if he does his Kotegaeshi, he stays sort of in front. Yeah, you know, this guy is not, he's not, right? So give me the, yeah, and yeah, this should be easier. But notice I'm drifting behind him. Worst case scenario, I'm too far behind, I just turn. Then once you safely get to a safe place, then take the knife as soon as possible. Usually we take it before we drop it. How do you take it? You open the wrist, right? And, you know, if I ended up on the wrong side, then we would. So let's just work on the Kotegaeshi, and then we'll work on the wrong side and the 2 slashes. We'll try to get all that in 20 minutes. If she slashes right backhand style. So you're already set for backhand style slash. Again, it's easy to, right here she can bend her elbow and get it back. And now it's closer to her, she can grab it away, she can slash, right? So, you know, here she's having a hard time bending her elbow. I'm going to slash this one. So she kept it away. So then, once you keep it away, then take it behind you. Woo! Closer. Yes. Okay. Very good. Same thing. So we did thrust. Right. We did backslash. Right. But how about the other slash? If I go the wrong direction, what do I do? Right? It really depends where you catch it. There, he gave me in other words, Gokyo is a nice word. Because I'm thinking here, what's the difference between Ikkyo and Gokyo? Partly it's the grip. Gokyo, your hand is here on the inside, but also on Ikkyo, there's more of this funakogi thing happening. On Gokyo, you cannot try to move him in. This is really strong. It's up and down. And then there's this little funny thing. So I'm coming in. Whoop. Now that's if I, you know, I've guessed wrong. So that's why I was doing all this, right? Oops. Excuse me. If I see it happening sooner, it's a little smoother, right? But I'm going to go ahead and go in the wrong direction. And, you know, and then we'll put it all together. Just before it comes down, I fold this. But if you can't do that, put your knee along this tricep and this hand will open up very easily. Right? You want to come up?
No, I'm okay.
No. Here we did this. Now I'm doing this. Cover it. Be careful of that. What happened is Reed's giving me too much force. Come in and do Makio Toshi.
Yeah.
That's what I'm doing to you. So what you have to do is don't push against it. You have to cushion it, connect it. Whoops. Realize also, see what happened? You did more or less EQ. You're up, down. Yes. There you go. It's up and down, not forward. Very important. If I go forward to him, who's getting the knife?
Yeah.
Okay, so go kill from the opposite
like
slash.
this?
See how this hand's down? Then you could do EQ.
That's what I was doing.
EQ is such a helpful thing. So usually, we only teach it from this, kind of, right? So when he's got this thing, you have to use it because if you try to do EQ from here, you cut your fingers off, right? So you need to come here. But it's a very useful technique from a lot of things. But again, it's just how your hands happen to be. So if your top hand's there, go kill. If your top hand's your bottom, if your cross hand is below, right, bottom, so I can do EQ. I usually take it out up here. If he's slashing and I go with it, better to go deep. Better to go deep. That's why we're going in. This is why it's so important to take space, right? Because when he retracts, he can do a lot of damage. If it's a little higher, you may end up with your hands. You have your usual sancho. You can also go deeper. You have your PG. So there's a whole array of this whole space where somebody who really wants to cut you up. And how do you fill that gap? You take the center line. It's better, it's like, how do you box a boxer? You don't outbox a boxer. You clinch up with it. Even the worst boxer can clinch up with a good boxer. So you don't sit there and play, well, I'm going to play one hand against one hand. I'm going to take his space away and then do my technique, then get off the line. So we've got to force that connections to get off that line. Anyways, it's some ideas about how to train on that.